Hey, it's Johara, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I finally watched. Can't believe it took me so long just because the Guardians are my favorite Marvel movies. Sorry it took so long, but let's get into it. So, first off, I loved it. It was different. It was a darker than the first two. I mean, I think the first two had darker elements than people realize, but because like it talked about Gamora and Nebula's their past. It talks about their past, So and their past is pretty dark, and it did show a flashback once in Infinity War with Gamora being, which was kind of dark, um, but this one it didn't just talk about Rocket's past. You got to see it, which was just darker to actually see it happening than just hear about it with Gamora and Nebula. Um, so, but it was sad, like seeing Peter like completely heartbroken over losing Gamora made me sad, especially since Gamora is my favorite character. For those of you that did not know, I absolutely love her, and I was heartbroken when she died, and I was heartbroken watching Peter be so distraught over her death because he loved her. Um, and I uh, I loved one thing I did love was watching Peter always say that Rocket's his best friend. The Drax is like second best. It was just funny, but I love that Peter kept calling Rocket his best friend because they haven't always got along. They kind of butt heads because they're both leader types, and before they joined to become the Guardians, they are both the leader of their own missions, and they just have a hard time stepping down for the other one to lead. So yeah, um, but like I said, this movie gets very very dark, but um I loved it. And one thing I loved was there's a lot of things I love, but I love how everyone was trying so hard to save Rocket because they couldn't bear to lose him. Even Nebula. I think Nebula and Rocket got close when in between Infinity War and Endgame when they were the only Guardians left. And I think that's really sweet. Uh, because none of them wanted to lose him, and uh, they would do anything to save him. So they were going on this crazy mission trying to figure out how to save him, and they couldn't lose him. So they did everything they could, which is just so sweet. And then Drax was Drax, and Drax and Mantis are a funny duo. Okay, they were especially funny in the holiday special. Yeah, the holiday special, and I absolutely love them as a duo. They're so funny. But seeing Rocket's past was so sad, and his friends that all died, and he was the last one, and you kind of understand why he came, where he came, and why he wasn't so good at having friends when he met the Guardians for the first time, just because he watched all his friends like get murdered, and his past is just so sad, and I feel so bad for him. He deserved better, but uh seeing Gamora, like past Gamora, and not know Peter, like, because the woman he fell in love with wasn't her wasn't his Gamora, bleh. um and he wanted her to be his Gamora, but she never could be, and because she didn't go through the same things she went with. She didn't do what she did to fall in love with him, and it's just sad to see Gamora as a Ravager now, and uh I heard Zoe Zadana is done with Gamora. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. And that makes me sad. Like I said, Gamora's my favorite character, but then again, I prefer old Gamora than this new Gamora. But that's just me. But like I said, watching Peter be heartbroken over losing Gamora was sad, and then be heartbroken over trying to save Rocket was sad too. But of course, they were able to save Rocket, and then they went into this whole battle with the guy that started it all with Rocket, and Rocket wanted his revenge, which fair, and then he wasn't able to lead those animals, which was also really really sweet. Like he would not leave those animals, and because after everything. He couldn't leave them. So they freed not just the kids but the animals, and then they went back to try to grab Rocket, and he had to have his showdown with the guy that created him. And I love how one thing I love was when he looked at those baby raccoons and he saw that it said raccoon, and he knew that they were him, like his species, and then he finally realized that he is a raccoon. Like, about time. The amount of times someone will be like, call him a raccoon, and he's like, I'm not a raccoon. Yes, he is, and it's just hilarious. But now he's like, I am a raccoon. um, but the whole battle was really good. And when Peter almost died because he was in space, now that broke my heart too. And then that one guy, I guess, wasn't infected by the space. I don't know, but he saved him. I like how that one guy kind of turned on the golden people and kind of joined them in the end. But he saved Peter, and Peter was able to survive. Barely, like they almost lost him, and that made me sad. Like, I was like, no, you cannot kill off Peter. No, 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 no. But I love Peter. I love all the Guardians. Like, it's really hard to choose favorite. Like, I know Gamora's my favorite, but after that, it's very hard for me to choose. Like, I really love Groot, but I also love Rocket, and I love Peter, and I love Drax. I do love Mantis, but I don't think I love Mantis or Nebula as much as the others. So I'd say maybe Rocket, Groot, and Peter and Drax are all kind of tied, and then Nebula and Mantis are down at the bottom. I still love them, just not as much as the others. Um, but yeah, so. And I love what one scene I love was when Nebula wanted to go home because she didn't want to be part of this crazy mission, and Nebula was siding with them, and Gamora was like, "You are my sister," or "We're sisters," or "We're family." I think she said "We're family." She's like, "We're family," and then she's like, "So is he," talking about Rocket. I just thought, man, the character development within Nebula is just amazing. The way she was trying so hard to kill them in the second movie, mostly second movie, because I think she was hardly in the first movie, or I think she was in it. She just was in the second more. But and so they had she just her character development is so amazing. The way that she went from trying to kill them to calling them family is just so amazing and sweet. Um, But yeah, but that ending, I don't know how I feel about. I mean, good thing it says Star Lord will return, but this time it said the Star Lord will return, which I don't know how I feel about that. Like, does that mean the other Guardians won't be a part of it? Because I know Gamora's probably not going to be, but the other ones should. And I'm like really scared because they all split up. Peter said he's been running his entire life, so he needs to find his grandfather and try to, stop running. And who else? Mantis said she needs to figure out who she is because she spent her entire life, doing what others told her to. Um, Ego, and then the Guardians. So Rocket ended up leading the Guardians alongside the Golden Dude, that one guy that was um, friends with the blue guy that raised Peter. I can't remember his name now. I can't remember anyone's name apparently. Um, that now has the arrow. Nebula, I think, was a part of it. Um, and Groot. And then there's this new kid apparently. But I don't like this because no, they're not the Guardians. I'm sorry. The Guardians will always be the other group. Gamora, Peter, Rocket, Groot, Mantis, Drax. I think Drax left too, but I don't remember why. I don't remember why he left. Huh. Oh well. But I'm pretty sure he did, because I don't think he was with the Guardians at the end. Um, but it showed Peter meets his grandfather, and which was really sweet. But it said Star Lord will return. I'm just nervous about what that means. Like, does it mean that Peter will come back and do an adventure on his own, or what? Because I need Peter to reunite with Rocket and Nebula, Groot, and Drax, and Mantis. I need them all to reunite and become the Guardians again. Because no, this is not okay. Now I have to wait for Guardians 4, and I'm not ready. But yeah, Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you've seen it. What your thoughts are. And I'll chat with you guys below in the comments. Until next time.